Hello, Simple Peeps! Welcome to another episode of the Simpol.ph podcast. In celebration of the National Women's Month, tonight we're talking about women in arts. There are plenty of different fields in arts, some performances, and others are visuals. And for many women, art is more than just a craft. It's a means of finding identity, facing struggles, and overcoming challenges. I am Yasha Solver, and joining us today are incredible women who have pushed themselves in the world of arts. Our first guest is a multi-talented artist, whether she's singing, acting, or painting. She brings passion and creativity to everything she does. We have here Pupa. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Our next guest is a storyteller at heart, whether writing, directing, or lending her voice to characters. She brings stories to life in powerful ways. Please welcome Alex.
Hi, everyone.
Our next guest is an artist who transforms spaces and brings creativity to life. Let's welcome Frances.
Hello po.
Before anything else, let's start with a little icebreaker. So we're gonna describe your work in just one word and explain why. So for example, ako muna. I'm Yesha, and one word that describes my work or my job is loud. Guess what?
What? Why?
What? Guess
I
what?
guess what?
Host?
Hosting because I'm loud, right? Tawa? Tawa. All right, it's your turn. So let's start with you, Miss Frances.
Ako, if I could describe, because I'm an artist, so if I could describe my art in one word, it would be flossy. So
Flossy.
pag ginugol mo ang flossy, ibig sabihin niya parang glamorous, very out there, very exuberant, and yung word na to kasi yung ginamit ko nung may racket ako nung college when I was designing some miniature furniture. So parang feeling ko perfect pa rin siya to describe what I do kasi I'm very maximalist and ayoko ng boring, ganon.
Yeah.
So, yun.
So hindi lang siya hindi lang parang description sa'yo, parang signature word mo na yon, flossy.
Sana, pero hindi ko pa afford mag-trademark.
Malay mo soon, ngayon na mag-start.
Sana.
Pag nanood yung mga viewers natin. Si Miss Flossy.
Yes, viewers, let's trademark.
Alright, Miss Flossy / Miss France. And of course, yes,
Yes.
Alex.
One word to describe my work, it would be humbling.
Humbling.
Yes.
Hulaan natin, anong humbling?
Ang dami nun. Yeah, no, humbling because as a producer, writer, director, it's really all about letting others shine, letting others take the stage, and making them happy. Yeah. So,
Humbling.
sorry. Yeah.
And of course, Pupa.
I guess one word to describe my work is buang. No, because I've always been really open to the world, and I don't really care what other people
You
think.
say.
So some might say I'm buang, but I really like it. I take it as a compliment.
Compliment. Yeah.
Nice.
Si Miss Flossy, Miss Humbling, and Miss Buang. And yun na-describe na natin, and we're a part of the icebreaker. To kick things off, let's talk about finding identity and facing struggles as women in the arts. Can you share a bit about yourselves and how your artistic journey began? Mag-start mo muna tayo kay Miss Pupa ngayon.
Hi. I'm Pupa Dadivas. I'm a singer-songwriter. Well, it actually all started with me just doing nothing. I have been singing in the shower for as long as I can remember. Tapos, bigla na lang na-bored ako. Sabi ko kay mami, Ma'am, try ko nga mag-audition dyan. Sabi namin, ha? Hindi ka naman kumakanta. Ganun. Pero sabi ko, try ko lang, malay mo. Tapos nakapasok ako. So yung first ever kong kanta ever in my life was on national TV. I never sang before in public. And I guess parang na-boost yung passion ko with music because of that.
At least you tried, and you have a
Yeah.
supportive mom to support
Yeah.
you, right?
But it was a weird experience,
Yeah.
pero I don't regret any of it at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course.
Yes, so I'm Alex Guevara, or Alex G. So I'm a writer, director, producer. And a voiceover artist. So yun pala, because it was part of my bio. But how I started was, well, cartoons raised me as a kid. Hindi ako masyadong lumalabas to play outside. But I think it's because I grew up in Caloocan. So, and everyone had a TV. Some of the houses don't have couches, don't have tables, ganun, but everyone has a TV. So I thought na because I grew up in television, I want to get into it. So that's how I got into TV work as a writer and then eventually as producer and now as a director.
Wow. And of course.
So, hi, I'm Frances Dandan. I am a recent licensed interior designer. Kakapasa ko pa lang.
Wow, congrats!
Thank you. But I have my roots in visual art, so I like painting. I did a few illustrations, and kung paano ako nag-start, actually itong ID, medyo later in life na lang to eh. Pero nag-start talaga ako as an artist. Hindi ko na maalala kung paano. Kasi bata pa lang ako, parang in-enroll na ako sa kung saan-saang
Workshops.
Yes, art classes.
Like art
So
classes.
parang yun na, hindi ko rin maalala. Pero ayun, saya pa rin naman ako doing art. So,
Wow, napansin ko, malaking impact yung childhood nyo on your
Yeah.
current career.
For sure.
So, ayan. You already introduced yourself. Nakilala na tayo ng ating audiences and medyo they're way more formal right now, but definitely mamaya we're gonna dive in and know more things about them. So, first question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, you have your brief background earlier. Ngayon naman, ano yung nag-inspired sa inyo? What inspired you to pursue art? So, let's start with you.
What inspired me to pursue art? It was really, it's very personal. I think for me, it was seeing my parents, who watch TV daily. Like, my schedule yan, ganun. Kahit kalaban ko yung dad ko na manonood siya basketball and then I want to watch cartoons. Ayan. Pero it's really my parents who are avid watchers of this. So parang, the thing about writing or even directing or producing, it's knowing your audience, and sometimes you are the audience yourself. So I think it's the people, writing about people. I think when people see themselves in what they're watching, it's a bit easier to watch. So yeah, it's definitely my parents, the people I know, my neighbors, myself, inspired me to do what I do. Yeah.
Wow, it's about. How about you?
Siguro for me, oo naman, inspiration, but also more of influence since I mentioned I started making art when I was really young. Parang hindi ko naman ako consider yung mga inspiration at the time. But yung lola ko was a really big influence kasi artist talaga siya. So she was a dean sa UP Fine Arts. So parang yung mga workshop ko before doon din. So talagang, and in fairness naman, parang as a child, you're brought into these workshops, not knowing much, pero parang nadala ko yun as I grew up. Talagang I really grew my love for making art and just loving design in general. So yun.
Buti na continue yung gusto nyo. Kasi yung iba,
Ayan.
ito yung gusto ng bata. Iba yung natitake
Yeah.
pag college or na gusto nilang field of work. And we're lucky
Yeah.
na kung ano yung nagustuhan natin, yun yung sinuportahan ng family.
Correct.
Right? So, si Miss Pupa, we all know she's a singer and artist, right? How did your identity as a woman shape the stories you tell or the art you create, the music or the songs that you create?
Well, I've always been, as I've said, I've always been really true to myself. I've never masked myself. I didn't even have an idol growing up because I believe that whoever I want to be, whatever I want to dress, I just what I want when I want.
Yeah.
That inspires me to see like the vision because I have a vision. May pangarap ako eh.
Of course.
So yung pangarap ko na yan, yun talaga yung nagpo-push sa akin, nag-inspire sa akin to do what I want because I want to see myself up there. I want to see myself doing the things I love.
So, everyone knows you as a like a singer, an artist, pero definitely lumalabas talaga yung pagkatao mo. During the songs na ginagawa mo, even the title of the songs, right? So you should check it out. Ayan. Then how about you, ma'am? Kasi di ba kanina sabi mo, bata ka pa lang, nagdo-draw ka na. What are some of the works na proud ka? Kasi di ba kakaano mo lang, license, ngayon ka pa lang. Ano yung mapasabi kang, oh, I did this, I made this.
So siguro, maybe 2 years ago, yung dati kong boss, if you know her, si Gibbs, so she's a content creator. Tapos I worked with her sa Neon Island, it's a clothing brand before. She contacted me to do a collab for Adobe. Tapos sakto siya kasi for Women's Month din siya. So parang it was about parang women taking up space in the art world. Very similar to our topic. Tapos, the work I did for that was sort of, for the first time, a mix of what I do as a person, as an interior designer, and as a visual artist. So parang, what I did was to create a space na parang na-imagine ko na creative space siya where women can collab, can work together, and na-visualize ko siya in 3D. So I'm very proud of that work kasi obviously Adobe is a very matunog siya na brand for artists. So parang I was so honored na na-part ako ng project na yun, and na-merge ko pa yung sarili ko as an interior designer, designing spaces and expressing myself through art dun sa nagawa naming project.
Wow.
So yun.
You know what? Ang Adobe hindi basta-basta, di ba?
So nga eh.
So, yun yung
Ganda.
my course. Pag sinabi Adobe, di ba ma'am, di ba, alam mo yun, na dapat alam mo to, you know how to do this, and yet, nakapasok ka and nagawa mo yan. Congrats! Deserve!
Salamat, ganda.
And of course, ikaw po, Alex, ano yung sabi kang, ako nag-direct nito, ako naggumawa nito.
Actually, I'm super proud when my voice work was featured dun sa... It was the ending stinger for Mayonnaise's concert. So, because I love mayonnaise. So, sorry, not the brand.
The
band.
brand.
Yeah,
The band, not the brand.
Oh, yeah. So, joke by, I love that part. Aside from the novel things like that,
Voiceovers.
Yeah,
During
that
their
one.
concert.
Yes.
Alright.
So that one, and then I think I'm super proud of the advocacy work na I do. So I usually direct the videos for a specific network of LGBT advocacy, since I'm part of the community as well. So yeah, just making their campaign videos under a campaign called Mas Happy Pag May Equality. So it's actually, I mean, in some ways it's similar to this one as well, because it's really about gender and equality in gender, women included. So yeah, I think, when your work is part of something a bit bigger or more meaningful, it's really an honor.
I really like how you do your job kasi
Yeah.
you have the advocacy and yet nakapakita mo rin siya.
Yeah.
You're expressing your advocacy through your job or
Yeah,
the passion
that's
that you
right.
want.
Yeah.
Right? Directing, doing the
Correct.
voiceovers.
Yeah. I think it's because parang I see my job or my art as a vessel, parang daan for something big, something that I support as well. So, and hopefully, it touches.
You're enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everything follows, right? Oh, and of course you, Miss Pupa.
Oh, I'm
Aside from your TikToks na talagang naabangan ko rin, personally, since pandemic days.
really proud of my latest single, shameless plug, stream DPTA on Spotify. Release a song, because and so releasing that makes me so proud to be an Ilonggo. Because it screams me. The song itself screams me. It doesn't scream anybody else but me. And so I'm just really proud of it. It's not the best, but
At least you show kung sino ka,
yeah,
who you are,
Yeah.
and what you love, right?
and I feel like it's really fulfilling because people starts to accept who I am. It's like my whole being. I'm just happy. I don't have to be anything else.
You know what? to be honest, hindi lang ikaw nagugustuhan because of your being an artist, but also your personality, Miss Pupa. Diba?
Yeah,
Here at James, the smile and
Yeah.
everything. Naks.
Yeah.
And to continue with the last question for this first segment, what are your struggles with gender bias, self-doubt, and expectations? Miss Pupa, pwedeng ikaw muna.
Oh. In my personal experience, I grew up with my brothers. I'm the only girl. And so not necessarily had struggles. Kasi I always beat them most of the time. And that makes me proud to be a woman. Kasi, ano? Parang ganon. Like, also like, for example, in a male-dominated field, just like in gaming, because I'm a gamer, when it comes to like ranks, ang pangit kasi minsan parating nagbubuhat.
Yes.
In the gaming world, nagbubuhat.
Pabuhat.
Oo, pabuhat.
That's a term.
Pero kasi ako yung nagbubuhat sa mga
Wow!
tropa ko.
Ano bang main mo?
Jet main. Watch this. Duelist.
Mas malalaman nila, si Pupa pala yun.
So yeah, I guess I don't think I have like struggles with that when it comes to gender bias. Pero when it comes naman sa self-doubt, yeah, I do have that a lot. But it's a battle against me versus me, not men
Anyone
versus.
else. It's so nice to hear about the way you handle the gender bias. Kasi ikaw mismo alam mo sa sarili mo na, I can.
Yeah,
Not because, ako to, because I am a woman. I can, right?
we can, and
Yeah.
we're better.
Yes. How about you, ma'am?
Gender bias. I think, well, if you look a bit deeper into it, no, thankfully there are industries now that are a bit evolving. But I would say film and TV, definitely TV is very archaic. But like I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So many horror stories, right? So I think when I experienced gender bias, it was actually when I was a journalist. I was head producer, so I led the production team for that one. And napansin ko na most of the problems were really about me being soft-spoken, me being, a bit, sorry, I don't mean to sound like this, but like a bit kind to my teammates, ganon. I'm very, okay lang yan, Parang I tend to put their mental health first, ganon, as opposed to the job. I think we're not paid enough to, like be shouted at or this and that, ganon. So I think much of the problems of my superiors were really about that, like the markers of being feminine, kumbaga. So parang, and it's weird kasi on one hand, when you're too soft-spoken, it's a problem, you're a bit weak or this and that, but also when you're the other way around,
You're bossy.
yeah,
Bossy.
you're the B word, so
Like, in the middle.
so
We're
yeah,
supposed to go.
yeah,
Ganon.
exactly. So parang what is the correct way of being, what is the correct way of being a girl and being holding a leadership position while being a girl? So ayun, it's tricky, I would say, because I can't change my voice, I can't change my attitudes, diba? And yeah, so that's most of my experience of it.
I think kung sila nagkamali, parang it's the way you handle your team. It's not about being you as about being feminine, of being a woman. I think it's your character na ito yung gusto kong, ito ako eh.
Yeah.
And ito yung way ko ng pag-handle. And see kung sino ka na ngayon. Because of who you
Yeah.
are, right? So, may iba't ibang lang tayong strategy. And
Yeah.
we have our, di naman pwede porket tayo, soft-spoken, you need to be parang what's it called that? Alta? Or
Yeah.
no, parang alpha, ganon. No, right?
Yeah.
It's about you, how you handle things.
Exactly. If I may just add, it's also that I think the problem, while people are trying to be better now, ganon, I think the problem is we're kind of typecasted, kumbaga. So for example, even in my industry, I know exactly the kind of projects that are given to me, and I know exactly the kind of projects that will not be given to me. So if it's gritty, if it's, if it's automotive, like, that's out of the question, ganun. But maybe I can, diba? Like, sometimes it's also lifestyle that's usually given, yung mga ganong kind of verticals, or, the girly pop.
Lighters. Like, ano lang.
That's right.
Yung mood is light lang, gano'n. Pero, if I'm gonna ask you po, kung bibigyan ka ng ganong projects, you think tatanggapin mo ba? Or sasabihin mo lang na, dito na lang ako? Ano po ba yung mas prefer ninyo?
I think the point is you should be able to try. You parang even when you should be able to be given the opportunity to, let me try it. Like, open the door. It's the opportunity, diba? And maybe I'll figure out, okay, baka hindi pala ako magaling sa cars.
At least you try.
Yeah, you're right.
There's nothing
Exactly.
wrong. Kung itatry mo, mas nakakaano yung, mas masakit sa pakiramdam yung, hindi ko siya na-try, pero parang kaya ko.
That's right. Yung parang hindi ko siya na-try dahil tingin nila, I can't do it because I'm a girl. Yeah.
At least, to our viewers, now you know. How and of course, yes, Miss Frances, ano yun? On your part naman?
Sa field ng interior design, I would say it's a female-dominated because everything else is male-dominated. But I don't know the statistics on that. But I know that it's a female-dominated field. But we also work with architects, engineers, and more often than not, they're all men. Ako personally, since I'm a freelancer, I always just work by myself. So, and parang wala na arch engineer, and ako, the way I express my design, also very feminine. Kumbaga yung kaartehan ko, lumalabas siya in my design kasi gusto ko laging may curves, very soft features ng space, ganyan. Tapos, makikita mo sa mga itsura ng mga engineer minsan na parang, pwede naman nating diretsuhin na lang yan Bakit natin kailangan ganunin? Diba? There's a short, di naman nila outright sinasabi. They ask questions, how can we execute? You know what they're trying to say. And sometimes, I know there's a sense na, si ma'am, how to do it. She's design lang tao. But actually, there are ways to execute these things. And yun lang. And they're also a lot older than me sometimes. So, it's hard to sometimes get your word out in terms of parang allowing these older engineers to listen to you in the way that things can get done. But I think ikaw as a woman in the field na ang daming lalaki around you, it's just a matter of really conviction and confidence na hindi kaya natin yan magawa. So, ayun. Better. Yes.
Better.
Cuter. Mas maganda.
That's her word for today. And we're better. Yeah. So, summarizing everything that na pinag-usapan natin for the first segment, it's all about the conviction, the confidence, and better.
Doing better, yes.
And doing better. Kasi hindi lang tayo babae lang, kasi tayo ay mga babae. Yes. And we had an insightful discussion so far, and we still have more to cover. Before we dive into our next segment on arts as self-expression, let's take a short break. For those who are enjoying this conversation, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Simpol.ph so with your friends. Stay and we'll be right back. Now, let's talk about art as a self-expression, about how it becomes a voice of who we are. And with these beautiful ladies, can you please give yourself clap naman? Kasi very successful yung first part natin. Now, let's proceed with the segment 2, art as self-expression. So, I'm gonna ask questions lang about your personal experiences, about your field, about your artwork, and pag-usapan natin.
Bunot ako.
Charot. How has become a way to express experiences? Maiba. Okay, let's start with...
Okay lang. Sige,
Yeah.
game
Go,
na.
game.
Hindi ako pinakagano'n eh.
Go.
Like I've mentioned before, the way I do my art, the way I design, I express a lot of my femininity. And yung pagka-flossy, pagka-exuberant, pagka-maximalist, talagang ina-express ko siya through colors, through forms. So, a lot of what I do is really girly.
Very kikay.
Very girly pop.
Very kikay ang mga atake ng curves,
Yes.
color palettes, and everything.
And sometimes, especially in the field, parang as a designer, kasi you're expected to cater to different clients, to different tastes, different types of spaces. And andun pa rin naman tayo na parang when spaces ask certain requirements, you're willing or you're willing to do every extent to make the space work well as possible. But ako, I try not to compromise my style. Kaya ako freelancer eh.
Yeah.
I try not to compromise my style in everything that I do.
Kasi naka-ano eh, yun yung signature, yun ikaw
Oo
eh.
eh.
Ikaw si Miss Flossy eh. Walang tatalo dun eh.
Wala pa trademark, guys.
Ako na gumagawa ng trademark mo. Pwede na ako maging manager.
Sige, dito sa tayo maya.
Hindi, di ba? So, si Miss Flossy, it's you. So,
Yes.
mas maganda talaga pag nag-freelance, somehow. Depends upon the person kung gusto niyang i-continue yung ganong the way you do
Yeah.
your thing, right? So, how about you, Miss Pupa?
Actually, hindi lang halata, but I'm really an introvert. And the only way for me to express, dark side of me is through art. I also do painting and also music. And because I can't words sometimes, I can't really explain what I feel. I don't even know what I don't know. But when it comes to art, I can, whatever I see, I can paint it. I can show it to the world. Even just whenever I see a blank canvas, I get so excited because, hi, finally, malalabas ko na to. Pero may ganun. So, I guess my art really reflects what I feel really deep down. And not just,
Not just
the
yourself,
shallow
but
parts.
also the paintings.
Yeah.
Kasi, di ba, yung emotions mo, mas linalabas mo siya.
Yes.
You're expressive through painting.
Yeah, it's the painting.
So, that explains kung sino ka nga ba talaga.
Yeah, deep down.
Deep down. Ayan, sa mga viewers and followers ni Miss Pupa, kung nakikita niyo siyang sumasayaw, art niya yun. And siya yun. Yun yung mood niya yung araw na yun. Right?
Wood din.
May mood din. And of course,
Yeah. How has it become a way for me to express myself? I suppose, I can cite an example. So, since I'm a writer also, I was part of this theater group. So, I actually wrote a 7-song musical about, it's very silly. It's a comedy piece. It's about me and my childhood crush, which is Sadako, the ghoul. Yeah, so that's why my hair is like this. Kasi, yun. So,
Crush mo si Sadako.
yeah. Yeah, that's my inspiration for So I wrote that comedy piece. It's 7 songs. And Sadako, I had the Sadako person dancing while I was singing. Ganun. It's very silly lang. But yeah, I think how I'm able to express myself is it's amazing kasi you can literally do anything with your art, right? When you write, you're literally building your own world. When you make videos, you're making your own stories, ganun. So it can literally be anything. So, maybe that says something about us also. Now, we can also put ourselves in the shoes of literally anyone.
but iba pa rin yung pag ikaw mismo, like, we are very unique in our way. Ito na, hindi ko na nasabi ko, yung kagaya ni Miss Pupa, na hindi ko nasasabi yung mga gusto niya through painting. Siguro paint ko na lang din. I'm just kidding. We are unique in our own ways, right? So, ako naman bilang host, syempre ako, funny ako, bubbly. So, I usually do na, instead of being just professional and formal, nagjo-joke rin ako at the same time. So, laging hindi nawawala yun. So, laging lumalabas na kung ano yung passion mo, yun din yung pagkatao mo.
Right.
Diba? So, hindi mo naman kailangan, hindi ako naniniwala na kayang magpanggap na ito yung gusto mo. So, nakikita kasi siya sa
Yes,
personality
that's
ng isang
right.
tao.
I
Right?
just wanna add, when it comes to arts kasi, there's no rules.
Yeah.
So the freedom that we have as a woman, parang it's so freeing, it's so good, it's so beautiful as well.
Ano siya, parang, performing arts is freedom eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang, you can express everything without any judgments.
Yeah.
For as long as you're enjoying it, and ikaw mismo bumuo, walang problema, di ba? So it's a good lesson also to our viewers na pakita mo kung ano meron ka, ano yung gusto mo, kung sino ka talaga. In what ways naman tayo, do you think art has the power to create real lasting change, especially for women?
Again, like what I said earlier, I think people listen more when they see themselves on the screen, when they see, some form of representation for themselves. So I think the real power talaga is being able to tell the stories of those that cannot tell their stories. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an advocacy thing. But for example, like in Hollywood films right now, we're actually seeing a lot of Asian content. They're actually putting in a lot of money into it. So we've seen Crazy Rich Asians. We've seen like all of those Parasite, for example, in full South Korean, right? And we're also working in Filipino stuff to be on a global stage. So I think it's that it's representing, kumbaga, and it's back in the days it was quite rare to see women represented the best way, like it's always in a box, ganun, or it's always a bit limited, this and that. So now I think it's lovely now we have artists now, young artists also that are women who can tell the stories of women by women. So yeah, I think that's a power.
That's good to hear also na you're making your own way para marinig din ng iba kung ano yung meron sila. But definitely, may mga tao kasi na, hala, I don't know what to do. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung passion ko. Ano ba talaga? Gusto ko maganto pero I cannot. I have the capability but I don't have the time. I want to do this but I am not allowed to. Pero you can express or show that real thing to last change through simple things. For example, expressing your outfits in a simple way. Obvious naman, nakita yung outfitan, di ba? Si Miss Pupa. Geng-geng. Di ba? Di ba? Idol niya, crush niya si Sadako. Look at her hair. Di ba? In a simple way of living, you can express and give a big change to others to motivate also them na they can show who they are in just simple ways, di ba? Kasi kayo, alam niyo na yung alam niyo na yung gagawin niyo, alam niyo yung passion niyo. You're into this, right? This kind of art. So yung iba kasi medyo nalilito pa. Minsan nahihiya. Di ba? Nahihiya pa. Especially to the mothers there, na may mga anak din na babae, di na alam kung ano ba talaga yung anak nila gusto. So, they're making things possible na gusto nilang ipakita sa anak nila ganito, ganyan. Diba? So next, what's the most personal or impactful project you've ever worked on and why does it mean so much to you?
I guess, okay. I've always been a tomboy growing up. I'm really masculine growing up. And I had this time in my life where I hit rock bottom, I'd say. And I did something that's the total opposite of something that I've never imagined I'd do, which is a pageant. If you listen to my song Heels, you'll understand. Let's plug again. That was very impactful for me kasi galing sa umiiyak ako sa banyo. The shift of me wearing heels and putting myself out there is I was really scared actually. I was really scared to do it. Pero I did that and na-motivate ako na parang I am not weak. I can do things. you know, and yun lang naman, heels.
Right?
Yeah.
Kasi you're not used to do pageantry.
Yeah,
To be
never.
honest. So, personality mo, nakita mo naman na,
Oo.
oo, di ba? Geng,
Imagine
geng.
mo. Geng.
Geng, geng.
Tapos ayun din, I also want, you know, people to know na, kasi syempre, when it comes to pageantry, well, I'm not the pageant type, but it's so timely because that time the theme was uniquely beautiful, and I got to show who I really am, and people accepted me as who I am. Though, well, the goal wasn't really the crown. The goal was, you know, for everyone else to see, all the girls to see that you can do this also. Yeah.
That's the reason kaya ako naging fan mo eh. Di ba? Mas lalo ka nagustuhan ng mga viewers mo. And of course, how about you, Paul?
Siguro, hindi pa siya lumalabas. Well, in interior design kasi, it's a very, not naman slow, pero talagang kailangan pasensyoso ka kasi spaces don't get built overnight. So,
Yeah.
these are things that you do for months, sometimes they get built for years. But I've been cooking up this project with this cafe in Imus Cavite, Cafe 1023. They're about to they're about to open different branches pa lang in Cavite, but I think they'll take over the world. Kasi sabi ko, ba't ang bilis? Parang ang dami ko yatang ginagawa para sa
Yun yung ba may garden and may katabing resort?
Oo, alam mo yun?
Galing ko doon! Nung sa... Ikaw naghintay, no?
Yung existing nila. Nagchikahan na dito. Yung existing nila, hindi pa. Pero yung mga next, because they're about to extend, they're about to... So, daming projects. Yeah,
I
mag-expand.
think bagay ka talaga dun maging...
Salamat.
Kasi, yung cafe na yun, more on very pastel, yung atake.
Oh.
Then, very, yung yung tone ng mood niya, parang, chill. Parang, kung ano yung nakikita niyo
Very
sa kanya ngayon,
colors,
ganyan na ganyan. So, yung kahit the upuan, the designs and everything. Oh, wow.
And I'm very proud of it kasi as a freelancer, parang reliant kami on referrals. Sometimes we start with yung mga kamag-anak ni ganito, friend of a friend, but si LA, yung shout out Miss LA, yung client ko dito, she reached out to me on Instagram. Nakita lang niya yung account ko and I guess she liked what I had there. So ever since then, it's been a lasting partnership. So ayun, hopefully makita na natin yung fruits of my labor this year. Fruits!
Miss LA, baka naman.
Miss LA, salamat.
Kape-kape naman dyan.
Croissant naman dyan.
Masarap din yung
Yung ano?
yung pasta nila. Tapos, yung mga pasta nila.
Oo nga eh.
So, sasama mo ba kami doon?
Oh, tara, now na. Sige, mag-P2P lang.
Sige lang.
Yes, ikaw naman.
Impactful projects. I think, well, it would be the first time I directed a video. Because I started out as a writer, TV writer, and then I got into producing. So obviously those two jobs, writer is very much behind the scenes. Producing is the efficient one. The efficient person, ganon. And usually directors are...
The backbone.
Yeah. Directors usually kasi are, well, they're held by men usually. So many male directors, ganon. There's actually so little like women camera operators, ganon. That's right. But there are some na I really want to be friends with, so hit me up. But I think the first time I directed, it's not so much. I thought I was gonna feel so powerful. Like, parang, oh my gosh, like, finally, I'll be direct Alex, you know? Parang, everybody else has no honorifics, but the director is called direct. Ganun.
Direct!
Yeah, parang, diba? And then you feel like a bit of seniority. Pero, when I directed my first video, it really was not about that. Parang, I didn't feel so much the power. It's really more being able to, you know, provide jobs, provide avenues for the story to shine. So I was very proud of that. And in fact, it was very transformative for me. Na I thought this would make me, you know, like super powerful na. But then it wasn't. It was just another job na you hold. And I think that made me feel like, oh, I can do anything. And,
Wow.
yeah, and I hope like young girls also feel that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, going back to Miss Pupa, sabi mo kanina, heels, heels, heels. Can you please give us konting sample lang ng heels, heels, heels na yun? Ano ba yung message na yun? Para naman, makarelate sila. Ano nga ba yun? Bakit, ano yung, connect nun sa sinasabi mo? So, konti lang, Miss. Pwede ba?
Heels, as in healing,
Yes.
and heels, as in takong.
Okay.
Yun lang naman yan. I just played around with the words.
Mm.
Nakata talaga.
Gusto nyo ba kumanta? Comment down kung gusto nyo kumanta si Miss Pupa. Sample daw, comment sila. Yan na.
I watched the time
Ganda yun.
from my bathroom floor. I wore the highest heels. Yeah, it was more than just right. The universe was on my side.
Billie Eilish, miss you!
Billie Eilish.
Si Billie ng Pinas pala to.
Oo.
Oh my God.
Wala
Tapusin na natin. Okay na to.
Yeah.
And going back, Miss Pupa, we really appreciate the way you sing for us. Pinagbigyan mo yung mga nag-comment sa atin. And meron siyang meaning, hindi lang siya basta lyrics, right? So, through your artworks or your job or your fields, how can women support each other in expressing themselves? Sige. Bato-batobin muna tayo.
Game.
Okay, maiba.
Daya.
Wala ako, hindi ako sali dyan. Kayo naman, hindi magbago.
Sige, hindi magbago.
Taya. Oh, sige.
Hala!
Ikaw na! Hindi ka nagbago!
Daya!
Hindi nagbago! Nagbago siya.
Girl support girl.
Okay, we support you. Go!
Yeah.
Pinakanta na, pinasagot na.
Well, based on my experience kasi, I've been in the field where ayaw mag-name drop. Hindi ako mag-name drop. And, ano talaga eh, you can feel it when a woman is, you know,
There's something wrong.
parang may something. Pero, I guess, you don't have to feel inferior about anybody. Kasi, different pacing tayo sa life eh. Iba-iba yung iba-iba field natin eh. And,
Baka
for
magulat
example,
sila doon sa sinabi mo, baka may something, ibang something. What she meant is, may negative vibes yun. Continue.
What she
Baka
said.
sabihin niya something eh. Baka magulat sila, anong something yun? Okay, go miss.
I guess, wala eh. We're all different. People in the same field, same tayo, nas different, you know, so compete with each other. Me, I have to win. Mas masaya yun eh. Successful eh. Tara, na alone. Gusto ko lahat tayo. Kasi, why not? That would be better, diba? That would be more...
Sharing success with other people.
Yeah. Yun lang.
Kala ko gaya ka ngayon mag-ramen. And of course, Miss, ikaw naman.
Well, tonight, when I get home, I'll listen to your songs and
Listen
If I
to my
can-
song.
if I can buy your stickers or I'll follow you. Yeah. So I think concretely, parang if there's a way we can actually support them, whether it's a business or whether it's their art, parang I think it goes a long way when people watch the stuff that they put out, when people listen. I think how we can really support each other is understanding that exactly what Pupa said, na we're all different. You know, women aren't just one thing. They're not just girly. Sometimes they can be boyish. Sometimes they're in the middle. Sometimes they love sadako, and this and that. So you know,
She'll never forget you
Yeah.
for loving Sadako.
yeah. So I think it's knowing that women are unique but also diverse and different but also equal amongst each other. So like I love the non-competition thing.
Yeah.
I'm really all for not fighting other women. So yeah, I think that's how
It's
you can support.
very first, very simple basic step to support. Stop the hatred.
Yeah.
Mm.
Stop the competition.
Yeah.
Right? And then simple way of supporting them, why not?
Mhm.
Diba? Kindness is free, so why not?
Mhm.
So how about you?
Oh, how about me?
Yes, kukunin mo na ba ako sa mga opening ng mga
Pwede.
shop mo?
So ako kasi I grew up in an all-girls Catholic school. So I think the girlhood spans generations. So yung mga friends ko nung bata ako, sila pa rin yung friends ko today. And a lot of them actually are creatives. So since in a sense pareho kami ng parang may common denominator kami in the industry. Yung mga pagrarant namin sa mga trabaho, sa mga kliyente, nag-align. So I find a lot of comfort na I can see myself through them also. And I like hearing their experiences as well. Parang ang dami kong natututunan
You can
from
relate.
them.
You can relate to
So,
them.
yeah. So, parang, kumbaga, kung ang girlhood sa akin dati, nung elementary, naglalaro-laro lang pag recess. Now,
Ngayon.
it's really meeting up and
Catching
learning
up.
from each other while laughing along the way. So, yun.
Diba, napakasimple lang, pero nakakapagaan ng feelings. So,
True.
even a simple way of supporting each other, malaking impact na yon.
Yeah.
Not just for them, but also to yourself, right?
But it always, even with mistakes, you'll make mistakes together. So
Yeah.
we're all figuring out
At
life
yeah.
during-
So, you'll never be successful kung hindi kayo nag-fail. Right? So, kung magkakasama kayo nag-fail, congrats! You will be, sa hirap at ginhawa, magkakasama. But at least, you figured out. And dapat, it will be a good lesson for all of you. Right? And lastly, what message do you hope women take away from your work?
I hope you'll be brave. Like, I hope na, because I think for women like me, who really have to battle some people, ganun, to have a place in this table, I hope that inspires braveness. I hope that inspires courage. Because the people before you, sorry, I'm not a lola or anything, but like, the women before us, and me as well, and the younger people that are growing up now, they're all working hard to let the future generation have a better path. So I sound so old.
Oh,
But,
mga di nakakalam, early 20s lang po mga
Yes,
nandito.
yeah. So I hope it's courage. That if you're gonna take away one thing from my work and our work, it's courage. Yeah.
How about you, Miss?
You, little girls out there, all the girls, never ever live up to anybody's expectations.
Ano pa eh?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Listen.
Mhm.
Listen to Miss Pupa. And, of course,
Ako naman, just don't be afraid to unapologetically be yourself. Na, parang gasgas na yun, pero totoo yun. Na, for example, in my field, parang when I go to sites or go to meetings, you're expected to dress a certain way. Hindi naman office siren, pero yung, hindi naman, bawal yun eh. Pero yung parang people get, or at least the men in the room, get an impression based on what you wear. Pero ako parang, just be a girly girl. Para magsuot ka ng borloloy mo ng mga anik-anik, yung bag mo kung puro anik-anik, okay lang yun. Yes, so, just wear what you want, be who you are. Ganun lang.
perfect. So, be who you are, be brave, and
Don't live up to anybody's
one's expectations.
See you.
And for me naman, yun din. I'm just kidding. Kaya yung sinabi ni Cinderella, be kind and have courage. Ayun lang, no explanation. Panoorin nyo na lang. And as we close this episode, one thing is clear. Women in the arts continue to prove that every canvas, stage, and script is an extension of their strength. So thank you so much to our beautiful ladies. Again, in the early age, di ba, 20 years old, in 20s lang po sila, but definitely marami tayong natutunan, ang lalim ng mga hugot nila sa buhay. It's not because of their experiences. It's because kung sino nga ba talaga sila. Right? And it shows us na marami dapat tayong matutunan pa at marami pa tayong dapat marami pa tayong isipin tungkol sa ating sarili kung sino nga ba talaga tayo. Not just being a person, but also being a woman. Thank you so much, Miss Pupa,
Thank you.
Miss Alex, and Miss Frances for having you here just today. Thank you for joining us. Grabe, kinikilig ako. Ang dami nating natutunan. Before we end, here's a small token of thanks for your time. Okay, and for sharing us your insight with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and effort to join us here, not just to show off kung sino nga ba kayo, but also to give us your wisdom for today. And of course, gusto ko yung batiin ng Happy Women's Month!
Happy
Women's Month! Nag-enjoy naman po ba kayo?
Yes.
Alright! Thank you so much once again. And of course, meron pa para PH. Ayan, it's a cookbook from Chef Taro. Thank you. Ayan, assign na yan. It's a good sign for you, Miss Pupa.
Nice.
Alright, and with that, let's give them a round of applause. And to our sa mga nag-comment, thank you so much for supporting and asking questions. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on social media for more inspiring discussions. Follow Simpol.ph on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and LinkedIn. It's all here at Simpol.ph, made simple just for you. This has been Yesha Solver, your host, and here's to Living Made Simple. Until next time, goodbye. Yay! Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on social media for more inspiring discussions. Follow Simpol.ph on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and LinkedIn. It's all here at Simpol, just for you. This has been Yesha Solver, your host, and here's to Living Made Simple. Until